Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Friday, November 28th, 2025. More than 5.5 years of Torah every single weekday morning, just to say good morning to each other. First of all, and most beloved, hi Moshe Tzvi. My son Moshe is here. So good to see you, my love. Michelle and Susie, Penny, Cool Mama Weiss, Jonathan, good to see you. Arlene, Cynthia, Penny, thank you for keeping us on track. It is broadcast 1436. Adele, good to see you too. Carl and Jack, Debbie and Rose, Scott, Boker Tov friends. Ashley and Cecile, Dale, good morning, friends. Hope that all of you are safe and well. Let's take a breath. We're going to sing a bracha and learn some Torah in a second. Lydia and Nancy, Susie, good to see you. Okay, here we go. My wife is here. Neshama, hi, love. It's good to see you. Nice turkey emoji. לעסוק בדברי תורה, לעסוק בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, לעסוק בדברי תורה. לה 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 לה. Good morning, everyone. I hope that you had a good Thanksgiving. Hope that you're getting ready for Shabbat. It's good to see all of you. Rita and Arlene and others, I can see that some of us aren't getting notifications that the broadcast has begun. I'm not really sure how that part of it works, but I'm really glad that you're here. And as the technology platforms continue to develop, I'm glad for the constancy of our company. It's good to see all of you. Shabbat tonight. So if you are wearing white, yay us. If you are not, just a nice tradition to get ready for Shabbat, wearing white. I saved this for you. So here's an extra bracha for the morning. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh bidvaro. That's nice. Okay. Parshat Vayeitzei. We've been learning about it all week. We'll read it in shul tomorrow morning. Parshat Vayeitzei has one of the most curious moments in the entire Torah, because just after Jacob has his dream, his incredible dream about a ladder that reaches to heaven, with angels going up and going down, God standing right by Jacob's head as he sleeps. It's extraordinary. Jacob wakes up, recognizes that God was in this place. Va'anochi lo yadati, I didn't know. And then God says, I bless you. Don't worry. I will be with you. I will take care of you. I won't leave till the work is done. It's this extraordinary moment where God's promise is made explicit. And if you think that's extraordinary, how would you respond? How would any one of us respond if God were to offer, to promise, to be there until the very end? Now, let me take a step out of the narrative and out of the speculation, Because what I believe about God is that God is present throughout, always, and until the very end. We are never alone. Sometimes we have to make sure to tend to our own curiosity, our own ability to notice color and light in the world. We have to show up for other human beings. Those are ways to remain attuned to the presence of God. But as opposed to God as described in the Torah, which the, the character God, as if it were, goes from place to place and up and down. Wherever we go, that's where God is. It's where we can release some of the godliness within us. Back to our story. God says to Yaakov, I will be there with you, nonstop. I promise. This is how God's promise is received by Jacob, and it'll be a little bit shocking for those who are unfamiliar with the text. Jacob then made a vow, Vayidor Yaakov Neder, saying, quote, this is chapter 28, verse 20 of Genesis. If God remains with me, protecting me on this journey that I am making, and giving me bread to eat and clothing to wear, and I return safe to my father's house, God shall be my God. And this stone, which I have set up as a pillar, shall be God's abode, and of all that you give me, I will set aside a tithe for you. You know, the strangest word in that whole thing is if. You, God, you'll be mine if you follow through with your promise. It's a very, very powerful, you would almost call it chutzpahdik response to a promise from the infinite. And then the very end of it, Jacob saying, and whatever you give me, I'll give some back to you. There are lots of ways to read this, but remember what Jacob has been through. He's been through a life that is very hard. And we know that it's not going to get simpler as time goes on for Jacob or his children. But here we are in a moment where Jacob does something that we saw Eliezer do sometime before. If you remember, Eliezer, Abraham's servant, goes in search of a match for Abraham's son Isaac. And Eliezer has the temerity, the chutzpah, to say to heaven, I need a sign so that I'll know who to pick. So this is what you're going to do for me, God. And God does. God does what Eliezer says. And in this very complicated text that we are in today, chapter 28 of the book of Genesis, where God says, I will take care of you. Don't worry, I will be with you. Jacob says, if you're with me, then you're my God. There's a way that we learn a very different kind of spiritual posture. There are religions in the world that are premised upon the notion of human submission to the divine. Submission. And while it is important for us to practice humility, it's part of what Judaism calls us to do, to see the world as bigger than ourselves, to see the needs of others as worthy, to know that anything I am blessed to have, I am called to share. It is also true, as Rosa just pointed out, that Jacob's not used to reliability. He needed this. He needed the reassurance. He needed what sounds transactional. He needed to know that he would never be abandoned by God. And I want to make a comment just about being human, because I think we could use this reminder. Some of us maybe in an immediate way, and some of us in an enduring way. The world that we inhabit now, and perhaps the world as it's always been, is not a reassuring place all the time. Yes, I'm looking out my window at gorgeous light and trees and homes. But I'm on one very specific block in one very specific neighborhood. All I have to do is travel a few blocks further. And maybe there are people in need who are just out of my sight. And maybe it's really just a matter of time before my needs make themselves more pronounced. When I pray, what am I praying for right now? Am I praying for them? Am I praying for me? And what expectations, what demands do I make of heaven? And in fact, that is a very beautiful question to ask. What demands do we make of heaven? What demands do we make of heaven? And as John is saying, we can't be there for others unless our needs are met. Beautiful comment, my friend. In order for me to be present as a channel for the divine in service of other images of God, I need to be stable. I need to be healthy. I need to be strong enough to support others. It's true. But as an image of God, do I tap into my source and say, this is what I need in order to do my work in the world? I'd love to ask you to think about this, not because it's a comfortable question, but because we could use some practice naming what we need. Jacob's life makes his needs very pronounced. He needs to know that he won't be alone. You want to be my God? Never abandon me. Now, in Jewish history, there have been moments where that has been a prayer, and there have been moments where that prayer has not been answered. It's a complicated thing to discuss. This is not a transactional relationship with the divine, but it is a relationship where our needs are worth naming. It's a very, very important part of having faith. My wife teaches this beautiful understanding of what it is to love God during the day, and at night there's a psalm that we say on Shabbat, Psalm 92. And we say the Hebrew words, Lagid baboker chastecha ve'emunatcha balelot. And the Shema teaches that during the day, baboker chastecha, the experience of chesed, of love, when you can see what's right in front of you, love might be more available, but emunatcha balelot, faith at night. And that goes two ways. To have faith in God at night perhaps means to believe in what I can't see, to know that there is more in this world than what is evident to my eyes. But it is also possible, and this is really beautiful, that perhaps in the dark, knowing that God has faith in us, that God is there with us, even when we can't see it, that there will be a morning, that more people should have what they need. Neshama's teaching there, hi my love, thanks for teaching me. Neshama's teaching there perhaps goes hand in hand with what Jacob demands. I would say asks for, demands. If you'll be my God, if you'll take care of me, if you'll show up and be in relationship with me, even and especially when I can't see you, when I can't see anything, then our relationship is real. I don't know that that's how I go through my everyday as a person of faith, but I do know that I'm a child of God just like you. You're a child of God just like me. And our needs are not unworthy, not the real needs that we're talking about. To not be alone. God notices that from our very first ancestor, Lo tov heyot adam levado. It's not good for a person to be alone. So I would bless us with this kind of reassurance. You're not alone. I would give us the chutzpahdik way of saying it. You have a right to demand not to be alone. And what I believe in my heart of hearts is that God is right there with us, especially when we are feeling alone. You're not alone. Calling out for that is deeply, deeply holy. Knowing that the answer is also right there with you as you rest your weary head, just like Jacob, our ancestor. And then God is right there. And if your theology makes that sentence strange, just know that it means we're all right there with you, all of us. What a gift it is to know that your needs are worthy, and that there are not just there are those, that the entire creation that surrounds you is an embrace from the divine. Friends, let's send our hearts to the east as we get ready for Shabbat. Kol hor balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ Zion, Yerushalayim. Am Yisrael Chai. Shabbat Shalom, my friends. See you on Monday.